Hello everyone, welcome to Cracku DILR series. In this series, we are covering 100 plus CAT level DILR sets for CAT 2026, covering easy, moderate and hard difficulty levels. In this video, you will get one complete DILR set and the PDF will be mentioned in the pinned comment. Download it before you start. Pause the video, try solving the set by your own and continue to watch the video. If you're preparing for CAT 2026 and want a serious DILR practice, then this series is for you. And if you want more DILR sets, we have thousands of them. It's very simple, just go to Google and search Cracku DILR sets.
In this question, it has been given that there are some visitors who go to an amusement park and there are different categories of visitors. The visitors are either old or middle-aged or young. Similarly, the tickets that they buy are either platinum, gold or economy. And then some facts are given about the ticket sales across different categories and across different types of people. Now, whenever you are solving a set like this, the first thing that you should know is how am I going to represent the data that is being given. Now, as you can see, whenever there are different parameters, that is, if say there is a school in which students play different sports, such that a student can play different sports, then probably it will be a Venn diagram where there is some sort of an overlap. In this kind of a question, a person is either young or old, so there is no overlap there. Similarly, he will either buy a platinum ticket or a gold ticket. Again, there is no overlap. So whenever there is no overlap, it will not be a Venn diagram question. It will most likely be just a table. So let us draw the table first. The table is, there will be across three categories, that is a person can be either old or middle-aged or young. Similarly, the different types of tickets are platinum, gold or economy. So once we fill out these data, that is how many people have bought, how many old people have bought platinum tickets, how many old people have bought gold tickets and how many old people have bought economy tickets. And similarly for the other age groups, the set will be nearly done. So now let us look at all the information that is given. We are told that 140 tickets were sold in total. So the total number of tickets sold is 140. The number of middle-aged visitors was twice the number of old visitors, while the number of young visitors was twice the number of middle-aged visitors. So we need to find out, we need to add one more column for the total. So this will be the total number of old visitors, let them be O. We are told that the number of middle-aged visitors is twice that of old visitors, so this will be 2O, and the number of young visitors is twice that of middle-aged visitors, so this is 4O. So the total number of visitors is 7O, O plus 2O plus 4O. But again, if you look at it, the total is given as 140. So 7O is 140 or O is equal to 20. So the number of old visitors is 20. The number of middle-aged visitors is 40 and the number of young visitors is 80. Remember that this is O, not 0. So this is 4O and 2O and O. Or to remove confusion, we can actually substitute this off. So this is 20, this is 40 and this is 80. And the total will be 20 plus 40 plus 80, this is 140. This is the total number of visitors. Now, if you are adding a new row at the bottom, which will represent, for example, this will represent the total number of platinum tickets sold. This is the total number of gold tickets sold and this is the total number of economy tickets sold. Anyway, let us go to the next bit. Young visitors bought 38 out of the 55 economy tickets that were sold. So the total number of economy tickets that were sold was 55, of which young people have bought 38. And they bought half of the total number of platinum tickets that were sold. So let us assume that the total number of platinum tickets is P. And young people have bought P by 2. That is the total number of platinum tickets. The number of gold tickets bought by old visitors was equal to the number of economy tickets bought by old visitors. So let us assume that the number of gold tickets bought by old visitors is A and the number of economy tickets bought by old visitors will also be equal to A. So the information that is given is just this and we have filled out whatever we can from the table. Now again, let us try to fill some more details so that it will become easier for us to understand what are the conditions, what are the constraints and how the data is distributed. So for example, because the number of gold and economy tickets bought by old visitors is A each, the number of platinum tickets bought by old visitors will be 20 minus 2A, because you want the sum of all the tickets bought by old people to be 20. Similarly, because the total number of economy tickets bought is 55 and young people have bought 38 and old people have bought A, the number of middle-aged economy tickets sold is 17 minus A. Why is this 17 minus A? It is 17 minus A because it is 55 minus A plus 38. This will, if you simplify, become 17 minus A. Now again you can see that this can be easily found out because we know that the total number of young tickets is 80, of which 38 are economy. So the remaining will be 80 minus 38, that is 42. Of the 42, P by 2 are platinum tickets. So the number of gold tickets will be 42 minus P by 2. Now we can go further. The total number of tickets sold is 140, of which 55 are economy. So 140 minus 55 is 85 are platinum and gold. We have assumed that the number of platinum is P, so the number of gold will be 85 minus P. Using this, we can find out the number of middle-aged people who have bought gold. This will be 85 minus P, which is the total number of gold tickets sold, minus A, which is the number of gold tickets bought by old people, minus 42 plus P by 2. This is basically the number of gold tickets bought by old people, young people. So if you simplify this, this will be 43 minus A minus P by 2. Similarly, the number of platinum tickets bought by middle-aged people can be easily found out. The total number of platinum tickets is P, of which P by 2 are bought by young people. So the remaining is P by 2, of which 20 minus 2A are bought by old people. So the difference will be P by 2 plus 2A minus 20. So this is basically filling up all the cells in terms of two variables. One of the variable we don't know is total number of platinum tickets sold, that is P, and the other variable we don't know is A, which is the number of gold and economy tickets bought by old people. If we can get the values of P and A, we can fill out the entire table properly. Now we'll have to, before we go further into solving the questions, we'll have to mentally look at some of the constraints. The constraints are that each of the numbers in all these cells has to be a whole number. It can't be a fraction, it can't be negative. So for example, A has to be an integer greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, P by 2, which is the number of platinum tickets bought by young people, has to be an integer. These are basically whole numbers. The other constraints are that 20 minus 2A, which is the number of platinum tickets bought by old people, also has to be a whole number. So this has to be greater than or equal to 0, which means that A has to be less than or equal to 10. We know that A is less than or equal to 0. So this is the greater than or equal to 0. So this is the condition that we'll have to keep in mind, that A is an integer lying between 0 and 10. Similarly, 43 minus A minus P by 2 is one of them. So A plus P by 2 should be less than or equal to 43. Because if this is greater than or equal to 43, then all the gold tickets bought by middle-aged people will be negative, which is not possible. Similarly, you can look at the other conditions. For example, P by 2 plus 2A has to be greater than or equal to 20. Because then the middle-aged people buying platinum tickets has to be again greater than or equal to 0. Now these are more or less the conditions that we have. If you look closely, you might be able to find other conditions. For example, 17 minus A has to be greater than or equal to 0. But that is already covered because A has to be less than or equal to 17. But we know that A is definitely less than or equal to 10. So this condition doesn't add any new information or put any new constraint on A. So this is something that we'll have to remember. Now let us go to the next question to see if we can solve things. If the number of old visitors buying platinum tickets, was equal to the number of middle-aged people buying platinum tickets, then which among the following could be the total number of platinum tickets sold? So old people buying platinum tickets and middle-aged people buying platinum tickets are the same. Then which of the following could be the total number of platinum tickets sold? So if you look at it, old people buying platinum tickets is 20 minus 2A. This is told to be equal to middle-aged people, P by 2 plus 2A minus 20. If you simplify this, this will become P by 2 plus 4A is equal to 40, or P is equal to 80 minus 8A. So we know that P is equal to 80 minus 8A, and we are required to find out the total number of platinum tickets sold. Which of the following could be the total number of platinum tickets sold? Now, as we have discussed earlier, there are two equations, there are two variables, that is P and A. Here we are only given some more information, which is one equation. So we can't really solve for P and A, but we can find a relationship between P and A because there are two variables and only one equation. The relationship is that A is a natural number, A is a whole number, and P is also a whole number. Now, therefore, P over here, which is equal to 8 into 10 minus A has to be a multiple of 8, because if it is not a multiple of 8, then we won't be getting a whole number solution. This would imply that the only number over here which is a multiple of 8 is option D. So the only total number of platinum tickets that are possible, that is P, can be is 32. In which case, if you solve, 10 minus A will be equal to 4 or A will be equal to 6, which is also an integer. You can manually substitute other values and you can easily figure out that A will not be a whole number in the other options. So the answer in this case is 32. Let us go to the next question. If the number of old visitors buying platinum tickets, was equal to the number of middle-aged visitors buying economy tickets, then the number of old visitors buying gold tickets was. We need to find out the old visitors buying gold tickets. Let us first find out what this equation actually implies. Old visitors buying platinum tickets is 20 minus 2A. This was told to be equal to middle-aged visitors buying economy tickets, that is equal to 17 minus A. So if 20 minus 2A is equal to 17 minus A, it would imply that A is equal to 3. Now we are required to find out the old visitors who are buying gold tickets. This is actually equal to A. So the answer is 3. We have just solved, we have found out that A is equal to 3. Now you might be wondering how we are able to solve and find out the value of one of the variables without having two equations. Remember that over here we have just solved what is the value of A. We don't know anything about the value of P. To find out the value of P, we would need another equation. But in this case, the question is finding out the value of A, which we are able to solve. Now let us look at the next question. If the number of old visitors buying gold tickets, that is OG, is strictly greater than the number of young visitors buying gold tickets, then the number of middle-aged visitors buying gold tickets was. Middle-aged visitors buying gold ticket. So let us again find out what is given. We are given that old people buying tickets, gold tickets, that is A, is strictly greater than 42 minus P by 2, which is the number of young people buying gold tickets. So we are told that A is greater than 42 minus P by 2, or P by 2 plus A is greater than 40, strictly greater than 42. Now we are required to find out the middle-aged people, that is middle-aged people buying gold tickets is 43 minus A minus P by 2. So we are required to find out the value of 43 minus A plus P by 2 basically. Now we know that A plus P by 2 is greater than 42. We also know that 43 minus of A plus P by 2 cannot be negative. So for A plus P by 2 will be either 43 or 44 or 45 or so on. It will be a whole number, it will be an integer greater than 42. But we also know that it has to be less than or equal to 43. So the only case in which this is possible is when A plus P by 2 is actually equal to 43. In which case the middle-aged people who have bought gold tickets, which will equal 43 minus A plus P by 2 will equal 0. So the answer in this case is 0. What we have basically proven is that the middle-aged people who have bought gold tickets is less than or equal to 0. But because it can't be negative, we are concluding that it has to equal 0. Now let us look at the last question. Which of the following statements must be false? So let us look at each of the statements and then we will try to find out whether it can be true. If any of this can be true, then it is not the answer. We have to prove that this statement has to be false. So let us look at the first question. The number of gold and platinum tickets bought by young visitors were equal. That is, young gold is equal to young platinum. We know that young platinum is P by 2 and young gold we will just see. Young gold is 42 minus P by 2. So this would imply that P is equal to 42. Now if P is equal to 42, we can find out that it doesn't contradict any of the conditions that we are looking for. For example, if P equals 42, A can be anything. We will assume for this sake that A is equal to 0. In which case the first condition is satisfied. The second condition is A plus P by 2, that is A plus 21 is less than 43. This also is satisfied. The third one is P by 2, which is 21 plus 2A is greater than 20. So this is satisfied. So there will be some cases in which this is true. So this is not the correct answer. Now let us look at the second option. The second option says that the number of middle-aged and young visitors buying gold tickets was the same. That is, middle-aged gold is equal to young gold. Young gold we have just found out is 42 minus P by 2. We will find out the middle-aged gold. Middle-aged people who bought gold is 43 minus A minus P by 2. If you again solve this, you will get that A is equal to 1. Again, nothing is contradicted by this. A is equal to 1. The first condition is met. The second condition can be met for different values. For example, again we will assume that P is equal to 42. Then A plus P by 2 is less than 43. So the second inequality is also met. And the third inequality, that is P by 2 plus 2A, will be greater than 20 because P by 2 itself is 21. So again, this can be true for certain cases because certain values of P solve this. We can find a good distribution of numbers. So this is also not the answer. Let us look at the third one. The number of old and middle-aged visitors buying platinum tickets were equal. That is, old P is equal to middle-aged P. Old P is 20 minus 2A. And middle-aged P is P by 2 plus 2A minus 20. P by 2 plus 2A minus 20. If you simplify this, you will again get an equation which is P by 2 plus 4A is equal to 40. Again, this doesn't on its face contradict any of the inequalities that we are looking for. We can easily find values of P and A where all the three inequalities are met and all P by 2 is an integer and A is an integer. So again, this is not the answer. You can easily find it. You can substitute that P is equal to 80 and A is equal to 0. In which case P by 2 will be 40 and A is 0, and P by 2 plus A is less than 43 and P by 2 plus 2A is greater than 20. So again, this need not be always false. Now let us look at the last one, which is option D. The number of old and middle-aged visitors buying economy tickets were equal. That is, old economy is equal to middle-aged economy. Old economy is A, middle-aged economy is 17 minus A. So it is saying that A is equal to 17 minus A. Clearly this is not the case because 17 is equal to A would imply A is equal to 8.5. But we know that A and P by 2, A has to be a whole number and P by 2 has to be a whole number. So A can't equal 8.5. So we know that for sure option D is always false. So the correct answer over here is option D. Because if option D is true, A will be 8.5, which is not possible. So in this case, once we put the data in the table down and we have filled out all the values of each of the slots, each of the grades in terms of P and A, we can easily solve all the four questions.
Stop wondering which ions will call you. Get the most accurate answer. Cracku's ion call predictor analyzes everything: your academics, your work experience weightage, and even the JAB process, all based on the latest RTI data. Know the exact cutoffs and your precise chance in seconds. Ready for clarity? Just Google search Cracku ion call predictor. Your personalized IM report just is search away.